Welcome to the LAURELDSMITH of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artwork creation. In this particular video, we will be looking at Jerusalem, African face on Mars, 41.2 degrees north, stone face of Sidonia, in which we see in a 10-degree sunrise, we see the stone face on Mars as an EA shadow African face of the book of Genesis 2:7, normally hit the African Adam. When we flip the stone face on Mars upside down, we see the globe, earth, stealth pyramid, Mercator projections of the book of Genesis 49:8, Ethiopian lion sphinx of ancient Judaism, where he entered into ancient Egypt according to Psalms 105th chapter and 23rd verse, where we see him enter into ancient Egypt amongst the 12 sons of Jacob. That's the fourth son of Jacob, where we currently see him today couched down in front of the Isaiah 19:19 Egyptian pyramids. The Egyptian pyramids appear as 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares upon the Giza pyramid complex back here in North Africa. Now, when we look at the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames, we see 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares flanking the central Ethiopian cross up on the upper left and right hand corners and lower left and right hand corners. This is where we see the Ethiopian cross left and right sides, globe, earth, stealth pyramid, Mercator projections, in which appears as a niche, N-I-C-A-G. The niche appears as 5 blocks stacked on top of one another on the left side that you walk upon, and 5 blocks stacked on top of one another on the right side that you walk upon, like a step. The 12 sons of Jacob that entered into ancient Egypt brought the niche or Babylonian stealth pyramids from the Iraqi land surface area of Babylon, the home of the first civilizations, into North Africa, where we see the stealth pyramid of Saqqara. Now, the stealth pyramid of Saqqara appears within the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames in the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure of modern LALIBELA architecture. This is where we see the left and right walls of the niche in the pyramid of Khufu, Queen's Chamber room, back wall. And so the first room in the pyramid of Khufu, on the back wall, we see a 5 block high niche carved out of the solid wall. Now, when we fly back to the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure in LALIBELA and look straight down upon it in an north 12 to 6 o'clock position, we see the cross base rising up out of the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem as a niche. The niche is N-I-C-A-G. It is the same carvings that we see in the back wall in the first room in North Africa, the pyramid of Khufu, within the pyramid of Khufu. So when we rediscover the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure of modern LALIBELA base, which where we see the 5 blocks stacked on top of one another, that they form a step that you walk upon the left side and on the right side. So here's where we see the Ethiopian cross base as the globe, earth, stealth pyramid, Mercator projection. This uncovers the purpose of the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars, which would look like a white shrimp, a mountain-sized white shrimp within the spherical ball-shaped female earth ovum data, planet data on Mars. Back here on Earth, the ball-shaped female earth ovum within the ovarian tract of every woman located upon the surface of planet Earth. It's so small you need a pair of tweezers to pick it up. But in Biology 101, we see the reproductive ball-shaped female earth ovum directly resembling the ball-shaped Earth and the Martian planet. So the 1-week-old fetus that appears within the ball-shaped female earth ovum is being revealed, has been uncovered upon the 4th planet. Since we look at the 4th planet ball shape, and when we look at the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars that was taken in the original 1976 Viking frame 35A72 satellite imagery of Sidonia, here's where we see the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars, 10-degree sunrise. So this white shrimp, this mountain-sized white shrimp next to 5 African pyramids on Mars, is talking about the embryonic origin of the first atom. The second atom. there's two creations that is spoken of in the book of Genesis. Genesis 1:26 deals with the elongated African Adamic race, such as portrayed upon the ancient Egyptian temple walls, where we see elongated, watermelon-shaped African pharaohs, such as King Tut and Pharaoh Akhenaten. Now, Pharaoh Akhenaten's solar theology was the same as that of the North African couching lion sphinx of Ethiopia, in which ruled over ancient Giza, Gaza, Palestine, and Jerusalem. Now, when we go back to the solar theology of the African lion sphinx in front of the North African pyramid of Khufu, we see the Cube 8 structure of New Jerusalem, in which the National Space Administration SOHO satellite imagery filmed as a Jupiter-sized black orbiting cube around our sun. Now, when we connect the black Cube 8 structure of New Jerusalem to the Dome of the Rock octagon, the octagonal roof in Jerusalem of the building of King David and Solomon, the holy building of King David and Solomon. Now, we see that when you draw the lines on the left and right side of the octagon on a blank sheet of paper, you and the north and south lines, you are creating a cube. So when we look at the Ethiopian cross within the octagonal roof, okay, we see a vertical rectangular section and a horizontal rectangular section. So this explains the extra area within the Dome of the Rock roof, in which it looks like a square. Okay. Now, this is where we see the Masonic square up on the Dome of the Rock outer wall surface in Jerusalem. That's where we see 7 sideways orientated Masonic squares straight down in a row. Then we see a stone rectangular window frame. Then we see 7 Masonic sideways orientated squares and straight in a row. Then we see a rectangular window frame. Okay, so this image appears on the outer wall of the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. Now, when we go back to the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure in modern Lalibela, we see the same thing. We see a vertical and horizontal section for the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure that was carved out of solid bedrock, and the area that was left formed a square. But now at the top of the roof, we see a square also. So this explains the Masonic squares on the Dome of the Rock outer wall surface that appears in 7 straight rows. Now, once you jump down in the cross-shaped building structure in modern Lalibela, it's so deep that once you reach the bottom and look up, you're looking up from the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. Every cube has a square for a ceiling, a square for a floor, a square for a left and right wall. Now, here's where we see the stone face on Mars, E8 shadow African face. It's a real African face generated by the 10-degree sunrise, casting a shadow upon the mountain-sized white shrimp-like 1-week-old fetus image of the second Adam that was created in Genesis 2:7. Now, once we go back to the flipping the stone face on Mars upside down, where the chin is the first level of the pyramid, or the stealth pyramid in Babylon and South America. Now, when you look at my E8 face on Mars, we're talking about the origin of all stealth pyramids back here on Earth. We see the stone face on Mars upside down, stealth pyramid Mercator projection. That means 5 blocks stacked on top of one another that they form a step that you walk upon on the left side, and 5 blocks stacked on top of one another that they form a step that you walk upon on the right side. So this is the image in the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame, flanking the entire outer surface of the Jerusalem holy building of the Jerusalem Temple Mount, octagonal building structure of King David and Solomon. Now, the black cube 8 structure that appears within the Dome of the Rock is generated by the sun shining upon the octagon in the building structure in Jerusalem. So an exact cube shadow. Now, I must repeat this. An exact cube shadow appears on the Jerusalem Temple Mount when you see it from a helicopter. The Dome of the Rock, octagonal roof, and the sun shining upon the octagonal building structure. So why would this cube shadow appear on the Dome of the Rock as the sun shines upon it? It's pointing the normal hitting humans to NIBIRU. Now you say, what is NIBIRU? NIBIRU is this black cube, Jupiter-sized cube 8 structure of New Jerusalem in orbit around our sun. So you say, what did the Babylonians that brought the stele pyramids into North Africa and South America and all around the world? And what is the Babylonian image of this black cube image in which you revealed to be Nibiru and New Jerusalem? Well, the Babylonians had carvings on their temple walls next to the stele pyramids. And that carving was the image of Nibiru that has a 3,600-year orbit around our sun. You say, well, what is Nibiru to the Babylonians? Nibiru was depicted upon the temple walls next to the Babylonian stele pyramids in stone, where we see a stone 6-point star that has circles around the tips representing planets in outer space. And the center of that 6-point star had a sun. Now remember, upon the ancient Babylonian stele pyramid civilizations, all you see in the center of a 6-point star surrounded by circles is the sun. So this is the origin of Judaism. So Israel used the 6-point star as its national flag, which is incorrect, because the illegal name change in the 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible by Daniel 8:12, Greek and Roman conquerors over the biblical holy lands of Giza, Gaza, Gath, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem. It destroyed the lion sphinx in front of the Giza pyramid as the fourth son of Jacob data to the Jerusalem Temple Mount outer wall stone rectangle window frame, where we see 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid square flanking the central Ethiopian cross. So the illegal name change of Jacob into Israel that was placed in every Bible in America that's read by 100 million Afro-Americans, okay, and Christians. You must identify the illegal name change of Jacob into Israel that destroyed the lion sphinx history of Ethiopia as it relates to the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame. 1, 2, 3 grouping of Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramid square. So the illegal name change of Jacob into Israel was placed in every Bible that's read in America, and it 100% wiped out the African, Ethiopian lion sphinx of ancient Giza and Gaza and Palestine and Jerusalem Temple Mount history. Make a note of that. So what's the illegal name change? Well, Jacob actually wrestled with a biological cherub that got out of one of Ezekiel's glowing circular wheel within the wheel like hydrogen light based UFO that had the crystal dome. And this UFO landed in Mount Sinai. Now when you fly over the North African continent, you see a group of mountains at the end of the North African continent in the north. And when you fly over these mountains and land at the edge of the North African continent, you landed in Mount Sinai. And once you get off your plane and take your baggage off your plane after you land in the North African continent mountain range called Mount Sinai, you will be geographically landing in ancient Egypt. That's where Mount Sinai is located, okay? Because it's at the end of the North African continent group of mountains. So the illegal name change then separated the elongated headed African ancient of days face of the first Adam, which is flying in circular UFOs and over Jerusalem. The hydrogen light based UFOs that was actually guarding or watching over the normal headed African Adam. So watermelon shaped headed African, such as portrayed upon the Egyptian temple walls, as watermelon shaped headed long headed African pharaohs, such as Pharaoh Akhenaten and all of them. This is why we see two faces upon the Jerusalem Temple Mount, behind the 101 Islamic entrance gate Aramaic name of Allah. As Yeshua, that created Genesis 2:7 normal hidden human race. So we're talking about the 75 African face on Mars is appearing next to the elongated headed 000111075 face of the first Adam. So the first Adam turns out to be Allah as Yeshua. Now, if you go back to the Islamic world, we see that the Islamic world did not exist before the 75 African face and the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars. You say, what does that mean? It means that the stone face on Mars is an EA shadow African face of the book of Genesis 2:7, normal-headed African apple. And it appears on the Temple Mount behind the entrance gate, a 21 entrance gate. They look like 21 U's when you flip them upside down. And a big U in the center, the small U to the left, and then the rest of the small U's to the left and right. The name of Allah on the white blank sheet of paper looked like 5 U's connected to one another. So you must walk to the Islamic Aramaic name of Allah to gain access up onto the Dome of the Rock octagonal building platform in Jerusalem. So that means then that the face behind the 101 entrance gate generated Islamic 101 Aramaic name of Allah. The face directly behind that is the 000111075 face of the first Adam, which is making Adam into Allah or Yeshua, the first Adam. Now why is that? Because who created the face next to this elongated headed 000111075 face of the first Adam? It is the 75 African face that appears on Mars as the E8 shadow African face. So when we look at the embryonic image on the Jerusalem Temple Mount of the 75 African face on Mars, it's a face with nose, eyes, thick lips on the Jerusalem Temple Mount behind the entrance gate in the early Arab-View 1930s photographs, which I preserved on my video. So the illegal name change of Jacob into Israel wiped out the black African lion sphinx in front of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramids. History to the Jerusalem Temple Mount. And it destroyed the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure in the modern LALIBELA connection to the lion sphinx stone rectangular window frame that flanks the doorway up on the octagonal building structure called the Dome of the Rock. And within that dome rectangular window frame, we see 2 dual X's, one below the other. And when you connect these lines of both X's together, all of these lines, left and right sides and the base lines, the resulting image is an inverted pyramid-shaped UFO 7 that has a square base that has an Islamic 5-point star creation in the square base. If you split an apple in half perfectly, you see the 5-point C star formation of creation of the apple. So this is some real stuff dealing with the Islamic Aramaic 101 Temple Mount name of Allah as Yeshua. Now when we talk about this inverted pyramid-shaped UFO being the temple, this inverted pyramid-shaped UFO 7 is the lion sphinx message within the stone rectangular window frame flanking the door or the entrance of into the octagonal building structure in Jerusalem. This tip of the inverted pyramid 7 shaped UFO that has the 5-point star of Islam of creation at its square base is interlocking with the cube structure of New Jerusalem at the base of the stone rectangular window frame, generated by the second square lines. So this is the in-game message of the African lion sphinx of Giza, Gaza, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem to all of the normal-headed humans that now populate the surface of planet Earth. What is that in-game message about? Well, it's generated within these 2 stone X's connected lines to one another. And that image is a geometric inverted pyramid-shaped UFO interlocking with Jupiter-sized black orbiting cube-based structure of New Jerusalem around our sun. You say, why is that the end game? Because this black cube structure is black for a purpose. Okay? That's why it's the end game. It's just say if you go up in outer space and carve out a cube out the moon, out of the moon. Okay, you're going to see a moon looking cube. If you carve a cube egg structure of New Jerusalem out of the earth, you're going to see an earth-like cube structure, right? But if you wonder, well, how come the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame in-game message to all of the normal-headed humans within our solar system is centered around an inverted pyramid-shaped UFO 7 of COMET ISON that was taken in the Chinese satellite imagery, where we see a huge pyramid move through outer space surrounded by a ball of white light. This pyramid is rotating around and around in this ball of white light, and it's 2 like saucers, like the dinner plates. If you take 2 dinner plates, one in your left hand and one in your right hand, and put a big pyramid on your table, Now move those two dinner plates around that pyramid. Just move your hand around and around, that these two plates is moving around and around that pyramid. That's what the image, the Chinese satellite imagery of filmed and placed on the internet. So these two motherships in the form of dinner plates that look like, I call them dinner plates, circular dinner plates moving around this pyramid in outer space. These are huge motherships. And on the outer, and this huge pyramid-shaped UFO is depicted within the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame. But when we connect the lines of the two stone X's together. Now, why is this the end game for within our solar system and for the normal hitting humans back here on Earth? That's because the Jerusalem Temple Mount, early era view 1930 entrance gate area. Okay, behind that entrance gate we see rectangular building structures generating elongated heated African face of Allah as Yeshua, or the first Adam. That's a 000111075 face. Now, this first Adam is connected to the end game of the normal hitting humans within our solar system. The 000111075 Temple Mount entrance gate adjacent area face of the first Adam. Now remember, it's next to the African Adam 75 face that appears on Mars. But the reason why this black cube in orbit around our sun is the end game message for our solar system is that it's pure black space. You said, what? Can you imagine cubing a black hole? Can you astronomers in every big major college and physics class, can you imagine cubing a black hole in outer space? If you cube a black hole, that's like, okay, I need not go any further. So that's what the New Jerusalem is. It's cube black space. That means everywhere is in that cube. You say, what? If that cube disappears right now in orbit around our sun, it's a black Jupiter size, a black cube in orbit around our sun, New Jerusalem. If that cube disappears, right now, it'll be everywhere in black space. Don't you get it now? But it's because we see it. Okay. It's black space coming to our solar system. It's God, the all in all, in every part, in every place, every direction of the universe, concealed within this cube A structure in New Jerusalem. And that's what the SPHINX was trying to tell the normal hitting humans in his in-game message within the stone rectangular window frame flanking the entrance door. We see an inverted pyramid-shaped UFO 7. It has a 5-point star creation of Islam at the square base. And the tip of the inverted pyramid-shaped UFO 7 is interlocking with a cube A structure in New Jerusalem at the base. That's generated from the second square at the lower, at the bottom of the rectangular stone window frame flanking the door into the dome of the rock. Now, the end game then deals with black space. Okay, but who initiate the black space? Second creation of our solar system, because that's what it is. It's that this inverted pyramid-shaped UFO, in which the Chinese satellite imagery film in orbit, moving through our solar system. It's a huge pyramid connected to the ISIAIAH 1919 Giza pyramids back here on Earth, and the stealth pyramids in South America, and Babylon, and the stealth pyramid in Egypt called Saqqara. So this inverted pyramid-shaped UFO is seen within the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame, interlocking with the cube. That's like take a pyramid, turn it upside down in your right hand. Now take a black cube in your left hand. Now push your right hand down. You're going to see the tip of the pyramid entering the black cube structure in New Jerusalem. So when we look at the original National Space Administration SOHO satellite imagery, orbiting black Jupiter-sized cube A structure in New Jerusalem around our sun, that's what's depicted within the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame flanking the entrance door. Okay, now that's the left side of the stone rectangular window frame flanking the door. So the other stone rectangular frame window frame flanking the entrance door on the right side, it has 3 triangles, and one below the other, right? Now, but they look like vertical 3 triangles. So when you turn these 3 triangles horizontal, it looked like 1 triangular pyramid, 2 triangular pyramid, 3 triangular pyramid. So the Dome of the Rock was all about the Lion Sphinx in Egypt. It had nothing to do with the Greek and Roman man-made image of Jesus or Jehovah, that we read in the 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible. But in theological racism, Daniel 8:12, Greek and Roman conquerors that went to Giza and Gaza and studied the Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scrolls in Jerusalem, they illegally changed the name of Jacob, the 72 Greek and Hebrew scholars 400 years ago that was appointed by the King of England to study the Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scroll. They illegally changed the name of Jacob into Israel and placed the name of Israel in every Bible in America. So this is why when we look at the Greek and Roman modern state of Israel, inhabited modern state of Israel, causing all this trouble to the 12 sons of Jacob that now populate the Middle East. You say, well, what is you talking about? The 4th son of Jacob was the chief focus of the Jerusalem Temple Mount. Okay? And that's referred to in Genesis 49:8 as the Lion Sphinx of ancient Egypt. The Ethiopian Chaldean Lion Sphinx of Giza, Gaza, Palestine. That's the chief focus of the Jerusalem Temple Mount, outer wall. Stone rectangular window frame images of pyramids and of cubes. Alright? So that's the Lion Sphinx was talking about the New Jerusalem cube way back there in the Egyptian pyramid time when the pyramids was created. Because 2 pyramids connected at their bases generate a sideways orientated Masonic square. And that's the Masonic square that we see on the lower level of the outer wall surface. The octagonal building structure in Jerusalem, outer wall surface. We see 7 sideways orientated Masonic squares straight down in a row. And then we see a stone rectangle in the front. Then 7 sideways orientated Masonic squares. So when we decode this sideways Masonic square, first we look at the square in a circle, and that means a circle on your wall clock in your living room has 12 hours. So if you write the same circle on a blank sheet of paper with 12 hours in it. Now, to show you what this sideways orientated Masonic square is all about, if you draw a line from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, that's okay, and from 2 o'clock down to 4 o'clock, okay, and from 10 o'clock down to 9 o'clock, that Masonic square, right, is generating a rectangle. Now you say, what, how, what, that's in a circle, okay? Masonic square is generating a rectangle. Now once you do that on your paper, so that decodes the rectangular king's chamber dimension in the pyramid of Khufu back here on Earth, and the 5 African pyramids on Mars that appear like 5 squares if you could next to the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars, which is representing a white moon shape, a white mountain-sized shrimp-like fetus, 1-week-old fetus. Okay, so the 1-week-old fetus in the form of the stone face on Mars is appearing within the red planet ball-shaped female Earth ovum data. So this decodes why a 1-week fetus back here on Earth appears within the brown basketball-shaped female Earth ovum in Biology 101 in her reproductive cycles. So it's talking about the African Adam on Mars. Okay, so this Masonic square, returning back to the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramid. So when you connect to the, if you stand right in front of the second pyramid in Africa, in Egypt, and look straight forward at it, you're looking at a triangular face, 90-degree face. That's all your peripheral is allowing you to see if you standing straight in front of the pyramid, a 90-degree triangular face. So that means if you connect 2 pyramids together at their bases, you connecting 2 90-degree triangles. You just created a sideways orientated Masonic square. You get it now? And this is what we see in the Dome of the Rock outer wall, first level, flanking the entrance door. So you see this dude stone X's within the stone rectangular window frame flanking the entrance door. And then on the right side, you see 3 triangles in the stone rectangular window frame carved out of stone. The stone wall. And then you see sideways orientated Masonic squares, 7 straight down in a row. And then it repeats itself. Okay, this is the image we see in the dome of the rock outer wall. Now, when we connect 2 of the ISIAIAH 1919 Giza pyramids together at their bases, we're connecting 2 triangles with 90-degree slopes. It's a sideways orientated Masonic square. So as we decode the sideways orientated Masonic square up on the Jerusalem Temple Mount outer wall, first level area, okay, surface area, we see then that when you connect 2 of the ISIAIAH 1919 Giza pyramids together at their bases, it's generating this sideways orientated Masonic square. And since we're looking at a bisometric pyramid square, we see the gable roof of the Queen's Chamber. And now all you need to do is extend that gable roof line, draw a line from the bottom of the sideways orientated Masonic square Queen's Chamber gable roof out to the perimeter of the Masonic square, out to the sides of the Masonic square. Stand back. You just created the cube structure of New Jerusalem from the Masonic square that generated by connecting 2 ISIAIAH 1919 Giza pyramids together at their bases. Now, since we're talking about the pyramid 90-degree face, okay, if you look straight forward at the pyramid, right, and then you have this 90-degree face of the pyramid rising out of the sand. At the tip of the pyramid, to the left side, at the base, draw number 1. Now, now move in towards the pyramid center. Now draw 4, 4, and 0. Now move to the right end of the pyramid triangle base, and that's 1. Guess what you just generated at the base of the pyramid triangle? 1, 4, 40, and 1. That is the cubic dimensions of that face. Okay. Now, how many cubics in the wall of New Jerusalem? 144 cubics. So when we look at the base triangular face, numerics 1, 4, 4, 40 of the pyramid triangular base. Now, when we come back to the connected 2 Giza pyramids together at their bases, generated a sideways orientated Masonic square. Okay, when we draw the line from the lower bottom of the sideways orientated Masonic square gable roof area of the Queen's Chamber, because remember, it's a bisometric pyramid image we're looking at. When we connect 2 pyramids together at their base, it generates a sideways orientated Masonic square. Now on my video, you'll see just by drawing a line from the gable roof at the bottom of the sideways orientated Masonic square Queen's Chamber roof area out to the end of the square, you generated a sideways orientated Masonic cube. And that's the cube structure of New Jerusalem. It's the SPHINX masonry in front of the ISIAIAH 1919 Giza pyramid. The lion SPHINX of ancient Giza, GATH, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem. This is why the chief focus of the Jerusalem Temple Mount was all about the Ethiopian lion SPHINX of ancient Giza, GATH, Palestine, and Lalibela, Jerusalem and Lalibela. So when we reconnect the Lalibela cross to modern astronomical events, we have decoded the Jerusalem Temple Mount outer wall, stone rectangular window frame flanking the door end game to our solar system. What's the end game? It's when something is terminated. That's the end game message of our solar system. Okay. Is when that black cube, which is a quantized space, is black. When you cube a black hole, okay. So you say what? Don't you know what that means? That cube structure of New Jerusalem is quantized black space. You say what that means? Okay, what was first in the universe? Black space or the stars? You would say black space. So if black space starts to moving on itself, you're going to see a tornado. We call it a black hole. Just like if you fill your sink up with water and pull the plug, the water go down the drain in a tornado pattern, right? Right? Okay, so now if black space started moving on itself, it's got moving around and around and around. It's going to create a black hole, much like if you fill your sink up in the kitchen with water and pull the plug out. The water go down the drain in a tornado spiral pattern, right? So now, when two black holes touch tip to tip, you will create matter, or the hydrogen atom, or the fifth dimensional energies, through this magnetic rotating vortex of gravity, condensed black space. Now, when we talk about the hydrogen atom in our sun, is created when 4 hydrogen atoms is being moved around through these tiny rotating black holes into a form of helium nucleus. And this is in nuclear fusion. This is the process that causes the bright white light to shine 93 million miles away across the black outer reaches of space from our sun towards the ball-shaped Earth. So, if moving black space created our sun, the end game message in the dome of the rock outer wall, stone rectangular window frame, generated by 2 stone X's of the Lion Sphinx Master Masonry of Giza and GATH. His in-game message deals with when you connect the 2 stone X's lines, one below the other, connect these lines, the side lines and base lines, and split this, because each stone X within the stone rectangular window frame flanking the dome of the rock entrance door in Jerusalem, they are made. Each X has 4 rectangles making the X. So you split them with a straight line, and you do the same with the bottom X. So the resulting image, in-game message, was for our solar system, told by the African Lion Sphinx of ancient Giza, GAZA, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem. The resulting image is that of an inverted pyramid-shaped UFO 7 that has a square base, that has an Islamic 5-point star creation in the square base. So this inverted pyramid-shaped UFO is pointing downward and is interlocking at the bottom of the stone rectangular window frame with a cube H structure in New Jerusalem that's generated from the second X within the stone rectangular window frame. That's the in-game message. Just for you 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible thumpers, I'm pulling your coattail about what is about to happen in our solar system. Okay, so now let's go back to the black cube, which is quantized space. That means I can't tell you how much space, right? But say if you trillion times trillion times trillion times trillion magnify the black cube, okay, then you take that to the 10th power. You say, are you telling me that black cube has that much space in it? That's right. You say, well, is that why you calling it the end game? That's right. And the Sphinx called it the end game. That's why he left the end game message to the normal-headed humans within our solar system in the form of a stone rectangular window frame that has 2 stone X's. So, what's the end game message? You forgot already, then, evidently, because as you talk about what created our sun is when black space moved upon itself, creating a rotating black hole that looked like a tornado. And the same thing moving to the north and south pole area of the ball-shaped Earth is a tornado-like magnetic field, and it's moving to the north part of the basketball-shaped Earth and the south part of the basketball-shaped Earth. This tornado-like magnetic field is touching in the center, which creates this real hot lava, okay, and core and crystals and iron and all the rest. So when we talking about looking at Earth in outer space with a toroidal magnetic field, if you place the Earth in a huge donut in outer space, so take the little Earth, ball-shaped Earth, and place it in the center of a huge donut in outer space. That's the toroidal magnetic field rotating around the Earth. Now, if you take some cement or something, right, and pour it in the top of the donut and let it dry, the Earth is in the center of a hyperbola. You get it? But it's in the center of, it's at two tornadoes touching tip to tip. So this is a frozen magnetic field. So when we look at the sun, right, we see that what's flowing through the north part of the sun and the south part is two tornado-like rotating black holes. And you must see it because we're looking at a toroidal magnetic field for our sun, just like look like a donut, and a toroidal magnetic field for the Earth. So when this black cube, so when two black holes or tornado-like magnetic fields touch tip to tip within the sun, you get the creation of not all the 92 atoms on a periodic chart. Because when this happens, we get the sun that we see today. So if moving black space created our sun, then what is in that black cube 8 structure of New Jerusalem orbiting around our sun? It's the end game message. Don't you get it? That means this cube has the power of eternity within its dimensions. That means this cube can suck the sun right into it right now. Now, how fast can it happen? Well, this is what the end game is. But this cube will become a second sun. Don't you get it now? In our solar system. And this is what the Sphinx is facing east towards the Malachi 4:2 winged sun that's in front of the Isaiah 19:19 Egyptian pyramid. He's facing east towards 1 John 1:1, 15 billion year old sun throne that created the 5 billion year old world in the black outer regions of space. Now,
King.